It's Arts and Crafts Day.
Hello, friends. Welcome back to my channel, or if you're new here, welcome. My name's Amber, and I'm super excited about today's video, so let's just get into it. So on my other video, when I was chatting to you about my hobbies, I couldn't think of anything other than reading, and I'm honestly appalled at myself. One of my favorite things to do is to go thrift shopping. I can't even believe I did not think of that. So I went the other day to some of the thrift stores that I've never been to before, and oh my God, I found so many things. I don't even think I included half of the stuff I found in this video, but I wanted to show you how I styled a couple of my finds. And I kept thinking how some of these would make such cute gifts for the upcoming holidays. Anyway, stay tuned for that. But first, I had some stuff that I needed to get done around the house. So let's get some cleaning done first, and then I'll show you how I'm using my new thrift finds. Kyle volunteered to clean our bathroom, and I was not about to pass up on that opportunity. So that's what he's doing here while I'm vacuuming. Oh, and if you saw our dog Ted just sitting there awkwardly by the toilet, he's afraid of our vacuum cleaner, so he was hiding from me. I know I mentioned in a previous video that we're closing our pool, and we are. This was just before that. It's pretty hot here still, but since school has started, we're just not swimming in it nearly as much. And it's a really hefty bill, so we're in the process now of closing it for the season. Are there any other plant lovers here? I started collecting plants in 2020 before we moved here, and it's kind of addicting. Is that just me, or are there other people like that too? I know my friends also find it addicting, so maybe it's actually a thing. Kyle likes to say that we just have more oxygen in our house. But our house is almost completely in full sun all day, so I have to be careful about the plants that I choose for outside and where I put them. I end up having to rotate a bunch of them because even the ones that say that they're full sun, they just get too much here. But if you have any suggestions for plants in excessive heat, please let me know. Because our house that we had before this, it was full shade. So it's like we went from one extreme to the other. But that's what I'm doing here. I'm walking around arranging plants, watering them, and picking up like the back deck area some. I'm now in my youngest two boys' room. They usually clean it up themselves, but occasionally they need a mother's touch. They are 7 and 5, and both are very crafty, but that often leads to like a bunch of craft supplies all over their room. So honestly, most days that's mostly what I feel like I'm cleaning up in here. I have to brag on my husband Kyle here a little bit because he built their bunk beds. I can just hand him a terrible drawing of something that I want done, and he's amazing and brings it to life for me. And that's exactly what he did here. The boys love it, and it gives them so much more space to play and create now. We built the bunk beds last summer when we originally thought that our youngest son, who was 6 months at the time, would be sharing a room with them too. We have an extra room upstairs, but the boys are still at an age where they like sharing a room. They have the same toys, so the upstairs room is just a guest room and an office for now. But we had originally planned to have Lincoln and Theo in the bunks, and then our youngest son Hayden would have a crib or like a twin bed over to the left side of the room whenever it came time for him to be moving in here. However, if you've seen my previous videos, you'll know that Hayden passed away earlier this year, so we were left with a blank space after building these bunk beds. And honestly, it was a space I had a hard time filling for so long because it was built this way to accommodate another child, and I still often struggle seeing this space. But I got a tiny couch to put over there to help fill it, and it serves as a double purpose because it opens up and holds all of their toys, which is pretty neat, and it helps them keep it cleaner. I don't have it in this video, but I'll have to share it in another video coming up. But we found some desks at a thrift store that had been donated from an elementary school, and the boys were so excited. So we ended up grabbing one for each of them, and they are now over in that area to the left of their bed. I need to find some stools for them still, but I'm wanting to redo them a little. I don't know, maybe paint them or something, make them just more fun for them. I included this area because it's kind of a weird space. My family refers to this area as my weird shelves because I love to decorate with odd things I find, and I often put all that decor on these shelves. These were also another project that Kyle did for me. When we first moved in, there was a door here and dowel rods inside of it, which was kind of weird. I had no idea what to put in there. I ended up storing birthday bags and like wrapping paper for the longest time. But I honestly think it was built to hide the cords and electric box for the bathroom on the other side of the wall. So we took off the door, painted it, and put some shelves inside of it instead. One of the pictures on the shelf hides the electrical box, and you have no idea any of that was even there. I'm going to start off by saying I have no idea what I'm doing, but I have high hopes and we're going to hope it works. So yes, I had no idea what I was doing here, but spoiler alert, it came out exactly how I was hoping. I am melting down these unscented candles I got at the dollar store because I wanted to make a dish I found thrifting into a candle. It ended up turning out so cute, and I cannot wait to make more of these for gifts for Christmas this year. This pan was obviously too small, but we're going to try to make it work. And as you can see here, I immediately switched the pan. This pot was slightly taller, so I just switched it over and it worked out better, I think. So I just melted down the wax from these candles and then I put the wicks in the dish. After the wax melted, I poured it into the dish and then added in some scented oil and stirred it around carefully, and then I let the wax harden. I ended up loving this so much that I kept walking around the house like, what else can I make into a candle now? There's also that candle sand or whatever it's called that you can pour and then light a wick in and pour it into anything else you wanted to. Like you can reuse it in other things. It's a cute idea, but I just didn't have any on hand. And this was a really inexpensive way to make that swap. I'm moving on to painting these birdhouses in a wooden church that I found at a thrift store. You may have seen these birdhouses in my previous videos. I was wanting to do almost like a haunted village thing with these. I didn't finish them yet, but I was thinking of getting like some tiny pumpkins for them, maybe some spider webs. I'm not really sure, but we'll see. And then the church is a music box. It has faux stained glass windows and it's super cute. I just wanted to paint it white, so that's what I did here. These next few items are some of the other things that I got at the thrift store, and I'm showing you how I'm using them. In all, I spent only $25 on all of the thrifted items in this haul. That includes the boys' desks, and I'm only showing you about half of my haul. I think my next trip I'll have to bring you along with me. What do you think? One thing I thought was hysterical was that they were playing The Little Mermaid at the first thrift shop that we went to. You guys, she was basically the first thrift shopper. I'm pretty sure of it. I don't even know the words because it's been a hot second since I've watched The Little Mermaid, but I sing that song every time I come home with a thrift haul, mostly just to annoy my teens. You know the one. Look at this stuff. Isn't it neat? Oh man, I'm gonna go have to go look up the lyrics for that one. But honestly, how fitting is that for a thrift shop to have playing in the background? I thought it was hilarious. And the age-old question, what's for dinner? You know what I'm talking about. Does anyone else cringe a little every time you hear it? I mean, I enjoy cooking, yes, but every day just seems excessive, am I right? Anyway, this day ended up getting kind of gloomy, and so I went full on fall and made this staple in our house, hamburger soup and a homemade loaf of bread. I love it because I usually always have all the ingredients on hand and it's extremely easy. For the soup, I just brown up a pound, in this case, I did two, of ground beef in a large pot. I stir in chopped onions, carrots, and celery. You don't see it here because I forgot to add it first, but also add in diced potatoes. And then I had a couple random okra from the garden, so I just chopped those up and threw them in. Once the beef is done cooking, you'll pour in 6 cups of beef broth, and then you'll season it with salt, pepper, and garlic. I usually let it simmer for a couple of hours, but you can eat it once the potatoes are done cooking and all the vegetables are done. It's simple and it's delicious. I served it with this homemade bread, and that is just 3 cups of flour, 2 tablespoons of rapid rise yeast, 2 tablespoons, oh no, sorry, 2 teaspoons of salt, and 1.5 cups of warm water. You'll stir in all the ingredients to combine well, and then you'll cover and let it rise for 2 hours. After an hour of the bread rising, I start the oven at 425, and then I put the Dutch oven inside. Once the bread has sat for 2 hours, I'll scrape it out onto a floured surface, do a couple of tuck and folds before placing it on a sheet of parchment paper, and then place it in the hot Dutch oven. I bake it for about 10 minutes with the lid on and then 30 minutes with the lid off. My family loves it with a smear of butter. They like to dip it in their soup. And then also they love it with strawberry jam on the top. It's super simple, like I said, and it tastes great, and it stretches $1 if you need it to. And the spoon makes a great microphone if you happen to be jamming out to Bruno Mars in the kitchen while you're cooking. But anyway, that's all I have for today. Thank you so much for hanging out with me. If you've made it this far, please hit that like and subscribe button. It really helps out my channel. But I hope you have a great rest of your day. I'll see you next time. Bye.